I'm here reviewing the Culinary Couture granite mortar and pestle set. I got this on Amazon. I got it for making pestos and salsas and all that good stuff. It's made with 100% natural granite. It's food safe. Very easy to use, very easy to care for. This is a really heavy one here. In the back here you've got before your use instructions. You do have to season it. Just open it up here and we'll take out the contents, see what we've got here. This here is the granite pestle. Very well made, very heavy. It's very coarse on the end there, where you're going to use to grind your herbs and spices and whatnot. Here we go. Let's take out the rest of this here. Open the box up. All right, we've got some paperwork here. We've got a Culinary Couture recipe cooking guide here that you can go and download. There's a little address on there, and use a care manual. Here we've got the main contents here. So let's see, we've got this rubber disc, which you use to put down under the pestle, so it doesn't, the mortar, I mean, so it doesn't scratch up your counters and whatnot. It's very heavy, and it's going to protect your table, your counter, whatnot. It comes with this little wooden spoon and this silicone scraping tool as well. I'll just put those on the side for a second and take the mortar out of the bag. Now you can see it is, you put it right on there now, and now it won't move around. It's going to keep it in place too, as well as protecting your counter. And again, comes with the wooden spoons for scraping out your pestos, your salsas, whatever. Same thing with this tool here. Make sure you get everything out of that mortar when you're done meddling everything together. Alright, and these were a great addition. Didn't even know those were going to be in there. Alright, so here, we're going to season the mortar. I'm going to show you briefly how to do that. It tells you on the box right here. Small amount of dry rice. And is the first step there. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to place this back here so you can see the box there a little bit while I'm working on it. And we're going to get a handful of rice. Maybe about a quarter cup of rice. It's not much rice there. And now we're going to meddle this. Let me just seal this bag here. We're going to meddle this dry rice around for several minutes. Anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes. You want to get it very well moved around in there. You're using that to kind of smooth out the sides of the bowl, the mortar, the bottom, and that roughness of the rice is going to help you do that with the pestle. So you're just going to grind that around for a while until that rice is kind of powdery. Some pieces are going to pop out here and there. It's just dry rice, no big deal. Alright, you're going to continue to do this for, say, 10 to 20 minutes until you see that rice get powdery. Okay, now I did that for about 20 minutes, and now what I've done, and this isn't in the steps, but I've had mortar and pestles before, and I like to use a little bit of water after the rice, and I like to just meddle the water around in the mortar with the pestle, and that does help to smooth out the sides as well. You do want to have a little water in there. It helps make a more smooth motion there for you. So let's see, I'm going to do this here. I've been doing this for about 20 minutes as well, and you can see the water is quite gray. It's kind of pasty colored. Alright, when you're done doing that, you dump out your water, wash it out by hand. Now I'm going to show you how to make an awesome pesto sauce. You can put this on pasta, on bread, some toasted bread, delicious. Put it on some French fries with a little extra Parmesan, a little kosher salt. Oh, this pesto is going to rock your socks off. First thing I'm going to do is just crush down some garlic cloves, get them out of their paper sleeves there. Just a little smash with the knife. Alright, we've got those. We're just going to give them a quick little dice here just to get them going. Make it a little easier to metal them once they're in the mortar. And then this knife too, I got this on Amazon as well. It's from Kuma. Very nice knife. I have a nice set of Wusthoffs, but I've been using this knife all week, and it's really great. It's comparable to my Wusthoff. A little bit lighter, but dimension-wise, blade-wise, it's been a workhorse all week for me. So definitely check that out too if you get a chance. And we've got this chopped up coarsely here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this right into the mortar. Now I've got some fresh basil here. Smells amazing. And what we're going to do is pick off maybe about a dozen basil leaves to start. And we're just going to pile those up. And we're going to roll them because we're going to cut them into chiffonade, which means you just roll them. And then you cut along to make little strips out of it. So let's just cut that up real quick. Chiffonade that. And again, that's about a dozen basil leaves. You don't need a huge amount. I mean, unless you're making pesto for a whole party or something. This is going to be great. It's going to make enough pesto sauce for 2 servings of pasta, or to cover an entire loaf of Italian bread if you're going to toast that up into little, little slices there, little crostinis. So I'm going to metal this together. I've got my basil and garlic in the mortar here, so I'm metaling it with the pesto. And you're going to do that for several minutes, not very long. And then we're going to move over here. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil, say 1 tablespoon of olive oil to start. And we're going to mix that up some more. Keep crushing that down. Keep working at it. All right, you can see it's a little more crushed down now. I'm going to add these toasted pine nuts. You're going to add maybe about, I'd say 2 tablespoons to start. And we'll get those in there. And we're just going to crush those down as well. The pine nuts crush fairly easily. They're somewhat soft actually. And they're going to mix well in there. Next I'm going to put some Pecorino Romano cheese. I'm going to slice this a little bit. And we're going to put that in as well. This is going to give it a wonderful flavor. I'm going to use the old knuckle buster here to get a few slices off of this cheese. And this is a decent cheese. It cost me around $7 for this little wedge of cheese. Don't go cheap on this. The flavor is going to make all the difference. Spend a few bucks on your cheese. I've got about, I'd say about 2 tablespoons of cheese there sliced. Gonna put that in. And this cheese is dry, but it is soft enough where you can metal it quite well in the mortar. And you'll see that's getting all mashed together. Again, we're going to add another tablespoon of this olive oil here. You do want to keep it fairly liquid, but not soupy. And you'll just add that olive oil as you go through. Now I'm going to add a ½ teaspoon of pepper. That's coarse ground pepper, black pepper. And I'm also going to add a ½ teaspoon of kosher salt. There we have about a ½ teaspoon. Just put that in. And we're just going to metal all that together. You can see the consistency here. It's very pasty, somewhat thick right now. We are going to have to add some more olive oil to this. Let's add another tablespoon in. That's our 3rd tablespoon of olive oil. And just keep working at this. Keep it going. It's coming together very nicely now. And this will be our last tablespoon of olive oil. So we got 4 tablespoons in there. There was 4 cloves of garlic and about 12 or so leaves of the fresh basil. And the pine nuts, about a tablespoon so far. Now I'm going to add a little more of this kosher salt here, about another ½ of a teaspoon. Okay, I've ground up another two tablespoons worth of this cheese here. That's the Pecorino Romano. I'm going to put all that in, get all the little crumbs in there, all the good stuff. And another tablespoon there of pine nuts. So I just want to beef this up a little bit. Want to get a little more distance out of it. Because I'm trying to end up with about 1 cup of pesto here. Or not a cup, half a cup of pesto. My apologies. So I'm just going by eye as to the volume of pesto I've got here, but it's coming together very nicely. The smell is just amazing coming off of this pesto. I definitely recommend you give this a try. Even if you don't have mortar and pestle, put it in your food processor. I don't care. And one more tablespoon of oil there just to get it to the right consistency. And now you'll see this is where you kind of want it. You want it a little bit thick. Some people do thin it out more. You can put a little more, maybe another tablespoon or two of olive oil if you're going to use it on a pasta. Otherwise, I'm going to spread this on some crostinis later, so I want it fairly thicker. And, you know, it's going to be delicious. So definitely check this out. I'm going to put a link below and in the description here. And get it on Amazon. Thanks for watching.